is omega to the power 100 plus omega to the power 200 plus omega to the power 300, where omega is given as the cube root of unity. Okay, so how are you going to approach for this question? We know that omega is basically the root of the equation 1 plus x square equal to 0. The three values which satisfy this equation is 1 comma omega square, where omega's value is given as minus 1 plus root 3 I by 2, and omega square has just a negative sign over here, but you can use any of the signs for any of the representation. I mean that you can use omega square also over here. That's not going to create a lot of difference. So there are two important points that you need to remember, that 1 plus omega square is equal to 0 and omega cube is equal to 1. Now these two concepts are important and are valid only when omega is considered to be the cube root of unity. So how are you going to solve this question? You asked that omega to the power 100 plus omega to the power 200 and plus omega to the power 300. So we clearly know that omega to the power 300 is a factor of 3. Like 300 is a factor of 3, so we can clearly write this as 1, because omega to the power 300 can be written as omega to the power 3 whole power 100, and this we know is that 1. So basically this can be written as 1. Now what about the other two, that is omega to the power 100 and omega to the power 200? So let's solve it individually. At omega to the power 100 can be written as omega into omega to the power 99, and since this is also a factor of 3, that we can see over here that 99 is a factor of 3, you can clearly remove this and put the value 1. So it is going to be 1. And omega to the power 3 200 can be written as omega to the power 98, or sorry, not 98, it should be 198, and then omega to the power 2. And we know that 198 is also a factor of 3, so you can remove this part and put 1 over here, right? So the whole equation becomes omega square plus omega plus 1, and therefore the answer is 0.